Hey guys, welcome back to Last Word Sports. We're going to be talking about Jags versus Bengals. I'm not going to review the Jags versus Panthers game. I feel like you guys have probably already gotten enough of that. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It's halfway through the week. You've probably gotten a lot of recaps on the Panthers versus Jags. I guess I'll summarize it, my thoughts. I really do want to see better from Trevor. People are blaming the delay, but like right out of the delay, he was still pretty sharp. That first half, he was pretty sharp. He was pretty good. But it was after halftime in the third quarter that he really waned. And it was a lot of mistimed throws, almost like the corner out to BTJ. He was really him and BTJ are off timing wise. I don't know why. I was even joking with my cousin who's a Jags fan, Jersey Jaguar. Um, I was just joking with him like why is it that like Trevor and Diami Diami Brown have such a good connection, but him and BTJ just can't connect. But I think it's something that will get resolved this game. I'm not really worried about it. It'll be fine. But yeah, Trevor was like off timing wise with BTJ. That corner out, he was open, and Trevor was just hesitating. If you really watch the game, Trevor was very much a look and throw quarterback in this game. When I say that, I mean like he was not anticipating guys to be open. And like honestly, for this game, I'm fine with that because it does reduce the turnovers. The only thing is it does take away some of the offensive potential of anticipating throwing windows. And we've seen this before in Trevor where he likes to see the guy open before he throws it. And that's what he was doing in this game because I think he was probably telling himself like, hey, any turnover I commit is not going to be worth it. We can win this game by just playing safe. And so we did. Whatever. That it worked. Run game, pretty good. People saying Travis Etienne was fantastic. I mean, to be honest, I feel like any of the running backs that we have could have ran through the holes that he had. I didn't think he did much special. The long run, the little juke hop thing, that was good. But besides that, I feel like it was just pretty standard, to be honest. But I'm cool with it. I like ETN. I think with Bigsby being traded, we see a lot more Tootin. Bigsby, I was not really happy about him getting traded, but when I saw how he ran off the field after the game, just celebrating with the team, that kind of tells me things. Anyway, defensively, was fantastic. A lot of exotic blitzes, and that's a perfect thing to use on a young quarterback like Bryce Young. I don't know if it's going to work versus Joe Burrow. And this will kind of segue my way into the Bengals game. Is a lot of people are really hyped after this Panthers game, and listen, we're all in the NFL. You can only play who you want to play, who you have on your schedule. I get that, but the Panthers are not a good team. Um, their O line is pretty good. So here's the thing. There's gonna be a lot of give and take in the transformation from Panthers to Bengals because with the Panthers game, we got pressure, but it almost felt like I don't know. There was a lot of almost touchdowns for the Panthers, a lot of almost touchdowns, and we forget in the first half they were converting a lot of third downs. It seemed like we'd stop them on first and second, and then third down, Bryce Young would run for a first down or would make some kind of open throw, something like that. And it worries me a little bit when you think about how you can go up against a quarterback like Joe Burrow. So we'll see. But I definitely think that these exotic blitzes aren't really going to affect Joe Burrow. It's one of his strengths when he's up against blitzes. So with that being said, maybe I drop back in coverage more. I don't know. But that Cincinnati O-line is so bad, and then now their starting guard, who was already not good, is out. I really do expect a big day from Eric Armstead. He showed flashes against the Panthers. He had more quickness than he did last year, and like I said, he's back at defensive tackle. I feel like he's gonna be so much better there, and he already was pretty good against the Panthers, and that's a good O line on the Panthers. That interior, I know their left tackle was out, Iquanu, but the rest of the line was starters, and it's like miles better there than the Bengals. So I think the interior pass rush of the Jags needs to get home and affect Joe Burrow. and that should allow Trayvon and Josh to feast. On the back end of the defense, Dewey and Murray, listen, I'm eating crow on this because I didn't think Dewey or Murray would be back there for long. I'm not a huge Foye guy. All those guys proved me wrong. They had fantastic games. They shut me up. They were probably the best players on the defense, to be honest. Well, Jordan Lewis as well, who was also not a fan of the signing, but Jordan Lewis had a heck of a game. So when I look at these players, though, and I think about how we're going to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals, I think when you look at the Panthers game, it really seemed like when Tet was on Jerry and Jones, they liked to pick that way. There was a specific play I'm thinking of. It might have been the one where he passed interference and Tet made that ridiculous grab, but Bryce just kind of looked over and it's like he ID'd Jarian on Tet and was like, okay, I like this matchup, and he went that way because Jarian he's not as small as Jordan Lewis, but he is smaller than Tyson, and so I think I'd be okay with putting Tyson on T. Higgins and just saying like, hey, battle it out. Don't let him catch anything. I know T. Higgins is good, but I think that's a matchup where Tyson can win. And if we're going to give safety help, give it to whoever's guarding Jamar Chase, whether it's Jerry Jones, whether it is Jordan Lewis, or whether it's Travis Hunter. This might be the game where you go more defense with Travis Hunter. I would be interested to see that. I don't know if that's what they're going to do. I really am tired of all these national pundits saying he barely played on defense. It's not worth that high of a pick. You trade so much for just a wide receiver, blah, 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 blah. And, they're not really taking into account you're not going to play a guy at a position you already have that's stacked. At cornerback, we have 3 guys that we're comfortable with. Wide receiver, we have 1. I like Parker Washington. I like Diami Brown. But as far as starter levels, there's really only 1 starter that you feel comfortable with. So Travis Hunter's playing that way more. I don't get it with these guys. They want him to play both ways, and I do too. I'm fine with that. But let's save it for when we need it. So this might be a game where we see Travis Hunter play defense more. I would like to see him matched up probably on T. Higgins, just because I think Jamar Chase is a tough matchup. But hey, we drafted him as high as we did for a reason, so sure, I'd be fine with seeing him guard Jamar Chase. But we'll see. So that's just how it is. I would definitely, though, offer the safety help more towards the Chase side than the T side. I think Tyson can hold his own against T. Higgins. Another thing, their tight ends are actually pretty good. I think they have Gesicki and Noah Fant. Noah Fant had a touchdown last week, so just be aware of that. And the running back, Chase Brown, pretty good running back as well. So linebackers, this is going to be more of a challenge for them than the Panthers were because you're not only facing a good quarterback, but you're facing a good offensive skill player set. So the run gap discipline as well as the zone and coverage aspects, they're going to have to be on their toes. Offensively, I think the offensive line played fantastic for the Jags. I thought their protection for Trevor was great. And I think they really, really opened up the run lanes. That's the most surprising to me because the Panthers' defensive line is not built to pass rush. It's built to stop the run. You got Derek Brown, Bobby Brown, the Warmack guy, I think. There's not a lot of names, but they're not pass rushers. They're run defenders. And we were opening up run lanes against them. So to me, that's definitely encouraging. Can it be done against the Bengals? I think it can. They're definitely also a little bit built better for the run defense. They have a good pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson, but they're probably a better run defense than pass defense. Yeah, pass defense on the D line, not overall. So I think you can do that again. But in the sense of the pass rush for the Jaguars, like blocking, pass blocking, I don't put too much stock into it because the Panthers don't have a pass rusher and their defensive line is not good at pressure. So Howie did good there. Good job. You can only block who's in front of you. I get it. But I kind of want to see it against better competition as we go through the season. Um, yeah, I think I already talked about Trevor. He's got to be better. Um, so here's my thing with Trevor. I'm a Trevor apologist. I'm a Trevor defender, and I've seen this though before where we make excuses for guys. And listen, I'm not saying they're not valid. I'm a guy who makes those excuses. Urban Meyer, one of the worst head coaches in the NFL ever. Doug Peterson, people say he won a Super Bowl, but he got fired 2 years later from that same team. Why would you fire a Super Bowl winning head coach unless he's incompetent? So he's had two bad head coaches. Doug Peterson's offense was outdated, so he's got a new head coach with a fresh offense that you've seen the proof that it works. He's got a number one wide receiver in BTJ. He's got Travis Hunter, a top 5 draft pick. Everyone agrees, a bona fide superstar waiting to happen. Brenton Strange is playing well. ETN is playing well. Tootin, LaQuinn Allen, and that O-line is playing well. This offense is set up. Based on the Panthers game, Trevor, you have no excuses. And you say, well, we're going up against Joe Burrow. What if he kills the defense? Guess what? For Trevor Lawrence, if you're the guy, you keep us in that game. If Joe Burrow and you switch places, we would win this game easily. Easily. Joe Burrow on the Jags would easily win this game. So if you're going to be the guy, you have to keep up with Joe Burrow in this game. This game, the pressure's on Trevor Lawrence. He can't have those misses like he did against the Panthers. He's got to be near perfect in this game. And I expect the Bengals to score on the Jags defense. I really do. They might put up 30. I need Trevor to put up 31. I need Trevor to outscore the Bengals, to outscore Joe Burrow. If this becomes a situation where it's 17-31 at the middle of the fourth quarter or end of fourth, that's not good enough. So, listen, this is a huge test for Trevor. If you want to be that top echelon of QBs, that top 10, you have to keep up and play with guys who are in that top 10. And it's not like, he doesn't have the guys. I just saw Josh Allen beat Lamar Jackson with Josh Palmer as his number one wide receiver. I know he has Keon Coleman as well, but so that's my challenge in this case. Be on watch for it. This is a huge Trevor game. Huge Trevor game. So far, with how we're set up, you can't look at anyone on the schedule and say, like, I don't know if we can keep up scoring with them. If you have a franchise quarterback, you should be able to. So, yeah, and you know what? I think he will. Trevor in the past has always played well against the Bengals. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. My final prediction. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna say 31-24 Jags. Duval. Anyway, if you guys like the video, have questions, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. But yeah, I'll see you next time.